everyone! Well, it may be cold, wintry and frosty outside, but in the studio it's real cozy toes. Cozy toes, warm and got that real hug feeling in you, or the clutch as we like to say in Wales. Yeah, I've got a lot going on. It is busy, but what I'm finding is that all this creativity that's going on, all this jewellery making that's going on, I'm not really finishing it. It's like my mind's going and I'm going on to the next creative design or expression. I've got all these collections going on in my head and I seem to jump, which I've always done, jump from one thing into another. But not today, not today. Because I've dragged myself back and I've told myself I need some accountability, and the accountability actually comes from you. Yes, I find that, you know, having to make these vlogs actually makes me accountable for the jewellery, and I've got one piece in particular that I want to finish, and I thought, well, yes, I got loads on the bench to do, but if I just take one at a time, wouldn't that be amazing? Just get one piece finished at a time would actually be the highlight of the day. So come on, well, you're my accountability and we're going to get this done. Come on. So this video may include some moving around a little bit. Yeah, I've got a little bit of freedom of movement now in the studio because I've got this new stand thing, and I'm hoping that it'll help me navigate the studio a bit, and maybe even I can get in a studio walkabout at some time too, but I've just got to get used to this new equipment. So at the moment, yep, it seems to be working. So let's have a look what we're working on today. Come on. So if you saw the water casting video, which is this one, I absolutely love this and can't see any work that needs to be done on that at all. But I have been making quite a few more, and that's one of the ones I wanted to show you today. So this is the one that's complete and finished, and this is the one, little small one. So, yeah, it's probably going to be lots of weird angles today with this new stand. But anyway, what I tend to do is have a multitude, and I've always done this, of price ranges. I liked that there's something for everyone. Prices do vary. So what I wanted to do was, obviously, this one is sort of the high-end piece because it's taken me a while to do. It's quite large. It's unique, and to be honest, it's absolutely breathtaking. Really is a one of a kind. So that is going to be in the higher price bracket. But then I make these little ones. So for in comparison, let's show you. And they're still absolutely gorgeous, made with exactly the same technique. And they're really lovely. And some will just go on a chain. And some I'd like to use some gemstones with. So today I'm just picked one thing to work on. And this is the one little thing I'm going to work on. I'd like to incorporate it into a design. I'd like to use some gemstones, and I'd like to do some gemstone knotting, and that is the sort of plan for today. And if I get that done, I'm going to be really, really chuffed with myself because I've got 101 little projects to do. But this one is my priority for today. Yeah, so come on, let's get knotting. So this display is one that is going to Saundersfoot, and yeah, I've put all the gemstones and all on it, but I thought I'll just have it there until it's ready to go down. We've got all the different gemstones. What I was thinking, the other day we were doing a vintage haul, and I thought this was rather nice. This was labradorite. And I'm just wondering whether that will be suitable. So we'll take this over Just have a look at that. Yeah, I think that would work. I have got another idea. I'll just move all this out the way. This is where I keep me gemstones. It's an old jewellery box actually. I think it'll be, oh, actually it's in the first one. So let's have a look at some of these. I'm thinking that might go nice, which is the aqua. Yeah, might do one of those actually another time, because I'm really fancying this mookaite. I just think that's a really nice little section together. So what do you think? Do you think the mookaite will go nice with the pendant and the gold? I think so. So I just pop these back, and I'm finding the trouble with this camera thingy is that we got to keep passing the bench. So I might as well show you what's on the bench. So this is what's on my bench at the moment. It's lots and lots and lots and lots of different jobs. This one's a waxing moon, and it's waiting for its moonstone, which will get done. This is a lovely bracelet that I've made, and it's waiting for its gemstones on the back there. Lots of different pendants on the go. And this is sort of the messy bit there. But yeah. And we need something for up here, which is the silver tray. So we'll need that. So we'll take that over with us. So the findings will be in there. Let's pop this drawer back. So that's that bit done. I've put the gemstones back on here. So I think I've got everything. So let's get down on the bench and get knotting. Come on. So what I tend to do is I take my wax and I condition it. Now it does say it's already conditioned, but to be honest, if you just slide it through, it just makes it that much better. You don't have to hang it on the door, you don't have to get it wet, you just rub in some wax over it. Now there are different types of wax, you can get different colours for different types of thread. You can even get a white one, I think it's a heather one, which is pure white, and that's great for pill knotting. I've also conditioned my needle. And the next thing I'm going to do is take one of the mookites and pass it down towards the end. Try and keep it clean. And when I'm near the end, I'm going to stop. I'm going to take the end of the braid and wrap it round my finger. I'm going to push it half through, but hold on to the tail like that, and we make a little safety knot. So if I pull it, it comes out. I'll show you again. So it goes round my finger, underneath, and you can just put your finger in there if you want and pull it, and you get the loop. So this malachite is just going to sit next to that loop. And you can see if you get any knots, they're much easier to sort out because of the wax. The next thing we want is a protector. Now if I was doing pill knotting, I do prefer using the French wire, but for any gemstone knotting. I really like using these protectors, and I always add on my extend chain and my jump ring later. And I'm just going to pass the thread through the protector. Now there's quite a lot of wax on here, so when I pull it through, it may get a little bunged up, but you can see how quick it is with the wax on. You can just pull it like that, and then we're going to stop when we get to the first bead. I'm going to take my needle and pass that through my first bead, and I'm going to pull. You may get a little bit of wax coming off, that's just normal, but at least you know your thread is protected. When we get to this end, I'm just going to release that knot and just going to check that this protector is on in the right place. Sometimes you've got to pinch them a bit, but I quite like that that's there. Got a little bit of wax in the middle, that's fine also. Now some people do like to, between the protector and the bead or gemstone, they do like to pop a little crimp bead in, but I don't find that necessary, to be honest. So now I'm just going to take the end and I'm going to knot twice. Okay, now we can make this a little bit shorter, just so you can not get confused when you're watching. So the next one we're going to do now is take the next malachite, and we're just popping that on and that up, all the way up until we reach the knot. We're going to take our T-pin out. I'm going to take our 2 beads as they are at the moment, just going to lay them in my hand. I'm wrapping them around my 3 fingers, and at the back I am forming a little knot. I take my knot and I pop it onto the T-pin and just keep pulling until it reaches the top of the T-pin. I take the next malachite, mookaite, sorry, keep saying malachite, it's mookaite, isn't it? So I'm going to take the next mookaite and I'm going to remove that and push that knot up. There we go. Okay. Do it again. So we're going to place the mookaite into our palm of the hand, around at the back there, drop him on and pull and pull and pull and pull, and you can pull quite hard. Going to get the next malachite, and we're going to do the same, and just pull out the T-pin and push our malachite, and that pushes the knot across. And another one. I've got two exactly the same next to each other. It was a random pickup, but to be honest, that will really annoy me. So I'm going to just undo that last knot. And it's quite easy. You just lift up the T-bar, try not to, or your needle, try not to let it get off the end, and you just undo the knot. It's quite simple. But yeah, let's not annoy myself. There we go. So we got a different one on now. Sometimes they need a little jiggle just to get them into place. It's a quite fast process when you get in a rhythm. What I've done on here now is I've separated them out. I've just counted them to make sure I've got half on one side and half on the other. So we're not going to do a knot now. The one side is done. I'm just going to pass it through the pendant. Now you may have to readjust your pendants when you're doing them because sometimes they don't sit properly. But that one actually seems okay. And I've decided not to do a knot because I think that the sterling silver will rub away at the knot, as I think that the mookaite, it'll be much stronger. And the same the other side, and I think I'll start with the same colour, even though it's going to be different variations of it. Exactly the same. A knot in the back, over your pin and pull. And just pull. And sometimes you know you've got to wiggle a bit and just get it right. I'm going to go fast. I have been doing this quite a long time, so I do tend to be quite quick, but you don't have to be. You can just take it slow. And then we just carry on as normal. Pushing our bead up to the knot, knot in again at the back, over the pin, pull. Sort of a jiggle and a pull, isn't it? So if you're getting all knotted up and you get all your silks in a mess, so this is a Griffin silk, exactly the same as you would with pearls. This is actually number 8. I think it's nice to have a slightly thicker one when you're using gemstones. But it's exactly the same technique. As I say, you can get different colour waxes for your different threads. But I think that people get frustrated because the silk knots, where you don't want it to knot, it sort of fights itself. As this method, it doesn't. It's sort of relaxed and I've not had to hang it off a door or iron it or get it wet at all. I've just run the wax through it a couple of times, and that's all I've done is recondition my thread. I don't get any knots or tangles in it at all. Just easy and quite quick. And this method as well, you don't have to waste time loading up your beads. You can still just put them on as you go, because there's lots of different methods, you know, and they're all right. So at the end of the day, it's how you feel about it and how easy you find it. And some days I like to use the tools. But I do think with gemstones, because they're so organic, you can be a little bit more ease of use with them. As with the pearls, I think, especially if they're round pearls, I do like to be a bit more precise with my knotting, and I probably would use a tool for that. So in the new year, in the Vintage and Antique Centre 2020, which is owned and run by the lovely Belinda, we are looking to do some classes including pearl knotting and lots of other classes as well. We do gemstone knotting. So if you fancy giving it a go, look out for those dates. It won't be till 2026 anyway. Probably between around March, maybe, that type of time, and they'll go throughout the year. So if you fancy giving it a go yourself, then yeah, look out for those. So that's my last one there, and all I do now is bring let me get my glasses on. Bring the needle through the protector, back down the other side, so I've just pulled that down to there. I'm going to go back through this first one. It's easier if I just pull it like that. There we go. Just sometimes, as I say, you've just got to do the top bit, keep pulling until you're happy where you are, and then we can do a knot. So we're just then going to do a knot at the end, like that. Pull that through, so I've done like a loop. I'm going to pull that through. And you could do another one. I think that's on safe enough. If you want to do another one. There, like that. And for now, I'm just going to chop the end off. So we've got all this left now, quite a bit. I'll pop it back on its card and we can make a bracelet at some point with that. So we haven't wasted anything at all. I would pop a little bit of E6000, I'll go and get it now. So these are the glues I tend to use for pearl knotting or gemstone knotting. For these end bits, I tend to use just a little dab in there of either the Hypo Cement or the B7000. I used to use the other one, but can't seem to get it anymore. I'm going to just add a little tiny bit in there. Might be clogged up. Oh, no, we're okay. I'm just going to dab, and I like this one because of the little tiny nozzle on the end. There we go. Just let it come out on its own. Don't need to press it really. I'm going to leave that to cure. So that looks stunning. I'm going to let this dry, and once it's dry I'm going to put either a little extender chain on or a clasp. We'll have a look how long it is, but I'm really happy with that. So that should be dry now. It's been like it for a few hours, so I'm just going to pop that off like that. And what I've chosen is this clasp and this chain, sterling silver. And I'm just going to, now if I'd thought of it, this is quite wide chain and it probably, or maybe not, gone on there. No, I don't think it would have. So what I need now are some of these jump rings. Pop my glasses on again so I can see what I'm doing. So we're just going to go in, I think we'll go with this one. Open that up. And close. And close it. Like that. And what I like to do is have a little bit on this end as well. So get the same size jump ring. Open that up. Pop that on and close. Really, I need 2 pliers. Yep, that's okay, that's on. And then I'm going to come just about here somewhere and just snip that So I've got a shorter one here and a longer one there. We won't need all that either. Pop that on. And the clasp. Oops. So what I need to do now is just test the length of the necklace around the neck, because I think some people like to wear it over jumpers a bit longer, some people like it a bit shorter. There's one thing left to do, and that is pop malachite on the end. This looks nice, but also you get something to grab. You got something to grab when you are doing up your necklace. Just make sure everything's tucked away nicely. And there we have it. A really lovely hand knotted mookaite necklace with a sterling silver cast rock pool. Yeah, I really like that. I hope you enjoyed that. I really did. And you can see the lovely mookaite goes really well, I think, anyway, with the rock pool theme. So if you haven't seen the casting of the pendant, then yeah, it's a water casted rock pool vlog there somewhere. And I think I'm proud that I've managed to achieve and finish this today. And sometimes, you know, it's difficult when you're juggling everything else just to get one thing finished. Oh, and there's the back. I think the back's really lovely too. You could have that at any length. So this is a really short one today, and I'm going to get on with uploading to my website so that I can share all these little delectable treasures with you. And I think all I need to say now is, don't forget, create the life you love, even if it's one knot at a time. Love you all, bye!